Welcome to the second part of our technology showcase, where we will be presenting Wooclap in the context of our class. What will we be discussing in this presentation is that first we will be providing a brief reminder of what Wooclap is and its main functionalities. Then we will talk about how does Wooclap facilitate distance education. In other words, how does it operate within the frameworks of distance education. Then we will discuss what learning theories support it. And finally, we will discuss how well Wooclap ranks as an e-learning tool for higher education by evaluating it according to the EDUCAUSE rubric. So what is Wooclap? Here we will discuss what it is, what it does, and how it works. Wooclap is an innovative web-based platform that allows instructors to create interactive activities that students can respond to and engage with using their mobile devices. Whether it is in a traditional face-to-face classroom, a hybrid classroom, an online synchronous course, or a massive online asynchronous course, this platform provides the capabilities to boost student engagement. What can Wooclap do? It can boost lectures to increase student engagement. It measures the understanding of learners in real time, stimulates student participation and motivate learners, improves learning and collaboration, provides opportunities for formative assessment, allows students to also participate in discussions via SMS text, and provides the capacity for both synchronous and asynchronous learning. How does Wooclap work? Well, as you saw from our demo, that it's a very intuitive and easy to navigate application. It only requires a few steps to implement and transforms the way teachers communicate with their learners. First, you need to log in. If you don't have one, you can create one for a free version. It should also be noted that students don't necessarily need to have an account with Wooclap to participate in the interactive activities. Next, you will create an event. This can be the name of your exercise, your class, your unit, or your module. Then you will select a question type from the list of 17 templates to set up the learning activity. For example, it can be a multiple choice question, an open-ended question, a matching exercise, brainstorming activity, watching a video, or inserting questions into your presentation. These questions can help students gauge their own understanding of the material presented so far and informs the instructor of their students' understanding. Next, you will execute the activity. Execute the question. This means either populating the answers or setting up the parameters of the activity. Then you will assign a code. This is the code students will use to access the activities. Then you will share the link or the code with your students. They can also use this code to access asynchronous material. Next, you will collect the answers in real time. This allows instructors to dynamically adapt the content of their course based on those answers. And finally, you can watch awesome learning take place. So the big question in this presentation is, can Wooclap facilitate distance education? The answer is yes, absolutely, of course. Many of Wooclap's features can be used in a distance learning setting, both synchronously and asynchronously. To facilitate distance education, Wooclap provides the functionality to easily and seamlessly integrate its plugins to work with Microsoft Teams. This enables educators to use both Wooclap and Teams simultaneously without having to juggle both platforms. Microsoft PowerPoint. As seen with our demo, Wooclap allows you to insert real-time interactions into your presentation. Google Slides. Similar to PowerPoint, you can install the plugin or extension to your browser, and you can add your presentations to Wooclap. Zoom. The Wooclap app is already included in the list of apps in Zoom. You would just have to select it to be included in your own list of apps. This integration gives access to Wooclap questions directly from the Zoom interface. Therefore, while a class is being conducted remotely, Wooclap functions can be accessed and used to increase student engagement and to receive formative assessment, or to give and receive formative assessment. Learning management systems. This integration allows educators to create quizzes and Wooclap learning activities from within their LMSs and synchronize student results between the two platforms. As mentioned before, Wooclap contains many features that support and enhance synchronous and asynchronous distance learning. During online synchronous classes, it is able to maintain interaction between teachers and students. Some features that facilitate this are authentication. When enabled, these features allow educators to see how many people are following the lecture. They are also able to see who is participating in the course. However, students do have the option to remain anonymous. Next, we have the I'm confused button. If at any time a student requires more clarification, they can select the option from their device to notify the instructor, who will receive the notification in real time. Wall of messages. Once enabled, this activates a message board where students can send in their questions or comments. Students are able to like each other's questions or comments, and the instructor is able to prioritize them. Display slides on student devices. This feature allows educators to show slides on participants' devices in both real time and/or asynchronously. As we can see from the synchronous list, there are multiple ways to keep a communication channel open between the instructors and students. Participant Pace is a feature that enables educators to create questionnaires and learning activities for students to complete at their own pace. It also provides a repository for where instructors can upload documents, videos, and any other learning material that can be accessed at any time by students. From our lectures, discussions, and readings, we know that one of the biggest challenges of remote learning is to maintain and increase student engagement and to provide effective formative assessment. From one of our readings, we also learned that there is a list of strategies that should be used to promote successful online courses. Taken from the UTA Open Press book, these include creating lessons that focus more on active engagement and less on passive consumption, utilizing networked learning and interactive activities, listening to and responding promptly to learners' concerns, clear communications for all aspects of the course. We also know from this chapter that there are at least 12 types of communication that have been identified that can happen in education, such as student-teacher, student-student, student content, student interface, learner group, and teacher group. The whole premise of Wooclap is to provide the mechanisms to increase student engagement and provide feedback. As discussed in the earlier slides, the plugins, the synchronous and asynchronous features all work together to achieve the criteria set by the framework of distance education and to facilitate the channels of communications between the different players of the learning environment. What learning theories can be linked to Wooclap? There's the nudge theory. Nudges are actions which aim to guide our decisions and facilitate our behavioral changes. In the context of Wooclap, there was an example given to automatically insert a quiz frame every 5 slides with the purpose of forcing the instructor to analyze whether it would be beneficial to launch an interactive activity at this point to expand upon the lesson or to provide an opportunity for formative assessment. Nudge theory is also supported by Wooclap features because it provides the ability to nudge students to think of what they've learned in a certain way. For example, after a concept has been introduced, the instructor can use the open question or word cloud feature to initiate and guide a discussion. Active learning theory. The idea behind active learning theory is that learners learn by doing. This promotes the idea of participating in one's learning rather than passively listening to the lectures. Examples of active learning that are facilitated by Wooclap are working on projects in small groups. By providing plugins for platforms such as Zoom and Moodle, remote learning classes can use the technologies of Wooclap to brainstorm, discuss, and work on group projects. Gamification. Gamification in education essentially means that game design elements are being applied to an educational setting. There is the idea that we learn best when we play, and that is due to certain elements of gaming that make it so effective for learning. For example, game mechanics encourage teamwork and competition that naturally encourage learners to interact with each other, which reinforces learning. Another element is active cognition. Well-designed puzzles and challenges engage multiple cognitive faculties in learners, which promotes information retention. Wooclap has a competition mode that facilitates the creation of competitive or gamified challenges. Finally, how would we rate Wooclap? In a nutshell, we'd give it 2 thumbs up. Evaluating Wooclap according to the EDUCAUSE rubric for e-learning tools for higher education, the application ranked fairly well. The pros: functional and ease of use. The application has a user interface that is intuitive and easy to navigate. Scale: it has the capacity to be scaled to accommodate any class size. However, you need to use the paid version for larger classes. Technical capabilities: Wooclap can be easily integrated into remote learning platforms such as Zoom and Teams, can synchronize well with learning management systems, and is compatible with virtually any device such as smartphones, tablets, laptops, and desktops. Mobile device: this app is very well designed that it can be used easily and interchangeably with non-mobile devices as well. Privacy, data protection, and rights. Users can keep data private. Users can also archive, save, or import-export content. Social presence. It has the capacity to support a community of learning through both synchronous and asynchronous opportunities. It also facilitates the collaboration and interaction among students. Cognitive presence. This tool enhances engagement with target cognitive tasks, exercises higher order thinking, and provides formative feedback. Teaching presence. This tool increases the teacher's ability to interact with their students, conduct and gain formative assessment, easily customizable for their lessons and context, and allows for an open means of communication for students to express any confusion, concerns, or appreciation and success during their learning experience. The only con that we found was accessibility. This tool does not provide any alternatives and cannot be used by students who don't have any access to internet, mobile devices, or laptops and computers. This marks the end of our technology showcase. We hope you enjoyed it.